Hello and welcome to Season 5 of Own Your Divine Light Show. I am your host, Yarra Atlantica Miller, also known as Janet Miller. And the theme of this show is the Divine Human Rising, recovering our sacred truth. This show is an exploration of the secret truths that have been concealed from us that we are no longer, using anymore. We need to let go of this old system that no longer works and that has held us back from becoming the divine humans we are meant to be. Today, we are having the amazing, incredible, and I call him the modern wizard or the modern Merlin, Ian Welch. And Ian is going to start us off with his grounding with this amazing affirmations and techniques he has brought through. So Ian, take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I like that. The Wizard of Today.
You are.
And if you haven't seen me before, then I do a lot of things with lots of laughter and lots of joy and fun. I don't take anything too seriously because we shouldn't. It's all about love and it's all about laughter. The two L's, love and laughter, that is the healer for us and for this planet. And before I start to do anything during the day, I start with making a connection to the universe, making a connection to God, making a connection to your future selves. So this is what I like to do. I stand and I face the sun, the light source. I have my palms facing the sun down by my sides. And then I make a connection through the sphere's light source to our twin suns. We won't have to do this for very long because the new sun will be in the sky, which we're sharing very shortly this year. So very, very exciting stuff happening. So I like to make a connection to the twin suns. Right, we're becoming a binary system, and that's already happening behind the sphere and the sphere's light source. So I make a connection to our twin suns, and I like to imaginary pull lights towards me. Silver, golden, amethyst, and diamond threads of light coming from each of our suns through the sphere's light source in the sky, intertwining into one rope, coming down through the top of your head, down through your body, your feet, down into the core crystal of Mother Earth, where you will see and find a doorway, a wormhole. Now you can step through this doorway, this wormhole, and if you do, you will see another Earth. And this Earth is our future parallel Earth. I'd like you to make a connection now to that future parallel Earth. And then go through the core crystal of that Earth. And way, way more than the speed of light, you're now going to connect to every single future parallel Earth with you on it. And you're going to go up and up and up and up through that parallel universal timeline, all the way to where you are a god or goddess with your own universe. You make a connection with your god or goddess self frequency. And then I'd like you to imagine, you don't have to see it, just imagine that coming towards you now, you're going to pull this light towards you, a 14 spiral helix, a 14-headed serpent representing the 14 chakras, and 14 rays anti-clockwise, spiraling all the way through every single Earth, every single universe, all the way to our Earth, coming back up through the core crystal, through your feet, spiraling anti-clockwise, through your body, to the top of your head, and connecting into the center of our twin suns, where you see and find wormholes. Go through those wormholes with this light, all the way to the furthest light source, all future suns on our timeline. Make a connection to all of them. And now, clockwise this time, you're going to pull towards you a 14-headed serpent, the 14 spiral helix, and the 14 rays, coming back towards you now, clockwise this time. Back through the top of your head, down through your body, all the way to your goddess or God self frequency. And then you state in your mind, I am the earths. I am the suns. We are one. I am the suns. I am the earths. We are one. I am the earths. I am the suns. We are one. And then state in your mind or out loud, I choose now for my 4 bodies to come into harmony with the most highly evolved aspect of the golden age, 6D. And I choose my 4 bodies to come back to me as one. And that's it. We are now in tune, connected, and protected. When we're in tune with 5D and 6D, nothing can harm us. Only ourselves can harm us with our fear and negativity. But I want to explain about the Ds, 5D, 6D and above. What are they? How does it affect us? Now, before we reach this point, we and humanity were at 3D and 4D. Very, very low vibrational frequency because the reptilian race had kept us away from 5D and above.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they have gone, now that we're in the golden age and resonating and vibrating at 5D and above, all lower Ds, dimensional frequencies, cannot exist in 5D. So cancers, diseases, viruses, bacteria, they all resonate at 3 and 4D. If you maintain a light body frequency of 5D and above, then those frequencies cannot exist. So basically we are radio sets and we're out of tune from 3 and 4. We've now tuned into 5. So that's all we can receive is 5. But if you are fearing a disease or cancer, then you are retuning your body back down to 3 and 4D, which is where cancers and diseases can exist. So by stating the affirmations, which I've been doing now for 9 months or so, this has been curing and healing people just by stating these affirmations, which in itself is extraordinary. And then the workshops that I've been doing with Mark is just bringing more and more gifts and tools for humanity to become their own med beds. And this is what I've been teaching.
That's amazing, Ian, that you can do that and that you're bringing that through for us. You're just fulfilling those words that everyone is saying, that we are so much more powerful than we know, and that we are the ones we have been waiting for. I mean, all of that has been said for the past 20 years that I've heard, at least maybe 30 years. You know, you've been in maybe longer than me. I think you woke up a little sooner than I did.
Yeah.
But it's incredible to know that we can do all that, and that it just takes you to sit and concentrate and make the intention with your heart to connect to all of this energy you're bringing through. And it's so simple. And I know you always—
That is the beauty, and it is simple. And people find it hard to believe sometimes because it is too simple. How can this cure this? How can this help that? Well, why should it be complicated? God wouldn't want to make it complicated. God would want to make it as easy and simple as possible to make this connection to something that has always been yours, which has been taken away from you. But I and others, people around the world, are now bringing this back to you in an extraordinary, pure, powerful, non-egotistical way. This is done with love. A gift back to you, reconnecting you to the power that you have always had.
Yeah, yeah, it's incredible that we're moving, that we've gotten here, that we've made it, that we've chosen this. I mean, we have chosen this as a collective as well, right? We have free will, so we had to choose it. Yes?
That's correct. Now, there's something that people don't realize, and this is an extraordinary way of thinking this and seeing this. Now, I've been communicating with God for 42 years, and Mother Earth, and extraterrestrial beings, etc., etc. Now, before we come down here to this planet, or any planet for that matter, we actually make a contract with Mother Earth. We communicate with her. We would say, right, we wish to come back to your body, back to Mother Earth, and have another life with you. So then what Mother Earth will do is to create a space for you. How cool is that?
Mm.
She creates a space specifically for you and your journey.
Wow.
So it's already mapped out, not just by her, but by yourselves and what you've chosen, your family members that you want to come and reincarnate back into and with. So all this has been done, and a space has been set aside for you. And that we should be very honored that we've been allowed to come back to Mother Earth. And she is cherishing us and giving us everything that we ask for, even whether it's negative or positive, subconsciously or consciously. We are asking for these things, and she will give it to us, as well as God.
Yeah, it feels very almost comforting to hear that, because it's probably an easy word to say, but you know, we're there's so much going on in the world that we're staying above that when we're working with these dimensions. But it is so, I think, refreshing and releasing so many things for us. Then when you say that Mother Earth has made a place for us, so we do belong.
Absolutely.
We do belong here, and it's so, because when we come here as other beings, and when you first come into these energies, I know I didn't want to be here. I'm like, why am I here? I really don't want to be here. I was like, you can take me out. I don't want to be here anymore. This is too difficult. But then I realized, once I got into my spiritual work, that it was important for me to be here, and we're meant to be here. We've all chosen.
Absolutely.
And
if you stay connected spiritually, you still need to be connected mentally, emotionally, and physically. But the one that's going to give you the most stability is your spiritual body. And when we come back into our spiritual calling, awakening, our path, then life becomes actually so much easier, more pleasing, and more rewarding, and abundance will follow. Now, the dark side know this, so they've been trying to keep us separated from each other, keep us in fear, because what you fear is what you bring to you. So what you love is what you bring to you. So what I've been teaching is bringing you back to love and empowerment. And this is what's been healing people extraordinarily all around the world. And yeah, it's just been, I'm blown away by it. I can't believe it. It's amazing.
Yes. And what you're bringing in it is mind blowing, because you have instant results, and everybody's.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I know when I miss the affirmations, or I don't say them right away, I can feel things aren't going as smoothly. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't say my affirmations. And I haven't written, I downloaded them from all over the house, and I'll sit there and I'll say them. And so I recommend to everyone who's listening that Ian's on Telegram, and he has an assistant that helps him, a volunteer helper that helps him, Rudy, who has put together amazing sheets of information here. I think I mentioned it before. Here is the beautiful work she's done, and you can just download these, have them all over your house. I hope you can see it. I know these are always tricky here. I don't know where it is. So these are just so special, and I even put them in the little, plastic, so I can keep them nice. And I just have them everywhere, so that when you're eating, you can say them. When you're working with any kind of technology, you say it before. It brings you into balance, and everything flows.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's all about retuning your radio set. We've been out of tune for at least 20,000 years, and now we are back in tune. And just imagine that you're a radio set, and you're just tuning the dial back into God, back into the universe, back into 5D, 6D. Now, I've been teaching way above that, by the way, but I'm not going to share that now, because the classes that I teach, which are with Mark Atwood, the first one is the 5D Love Star Workshop. Then it's the Pinecone Vortices, and then it's the Quantum Awakening. These need to be done in sequence. And this is going to give you tools that will create your med bed for you. And I teach how to work with all of these. You know, a lady gave me some information the other day. She got very, very poorly, and normally she's in hospital for a week when this happens. And she used the pinecone love star knowledge that I shared with everybody. And by the morning, she had been completely healed. Whereas normally she would end up in hospital for a week at least on horrible, strong medications. But this pinecone love star actually healed her overnight. And she couldn't thank me enough. And this was dead simple.
Yes.
Really dead simple. And yeah, so that's something I like to share. That's just one of thousands and thousands.
That was
and on
the
the
big one. That was the big one because
yeah,
I think she had
on YouTube,
diverticulitis.
if you go to the Healing Master, which is me, or just type in Ian Welch, and you'll see me standing there in a white outfit with my hands like this. That is free healing.
Yes.
For everybody and anybody. You can watch it as many times as you want to. I've upgraded the power that's coming through me, even though I did this about 8 years ago. This is the cool thing. I've actually communicated with me then and added vortices and pinecone energy extra into what I'm now sending out for free.
Wow. So you went back in time, Connie.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Wow, that is cool. See, anything is possible when you believe.
Of course it is.
When you believe.
Of course it is.
These are the incredible things we're moving into, like all those you know, super movies of all the beings that turn into super beings on our planet, because the superpowers that they get, you're getting them, you're showing us they work, and people are using them and they're getting them. So none of this is just by coincidence that we see these movies. This is us. This is us now and moving along. It's just happening. Our future is here. It's here.
We're moving into that. You're right. We're moving into those scientific or science fiction movies. They're not science fiction. They're giving us little clues and tidbits on how we will be becoming, as you say, supermen and superwomen. Now, I want to share a little bit about the sphere. Now, about 3 years ago, there's a wonderful website on YouTube called suspiciousobservers.com, and also a third phase of the moon. Now, third phase of the moon, they put up these images of this huge black sphere next to the sun, which was photographed by NASA. I mean, this was at least 65 times bigger than the Earth.
Wow.
So it's a gigantic megastructure. And then there was another one seen a few days later on the opposite side of the sun.
Really?
So 2 of them. So me being me, I wanted to know what was going on. Why is it here? What's it doing? And I've done a bit more research, and 7 years prior to that, NASA had actually done a video of the same sphere going right next to the sun, almost touching it. And you can see this gigantic plasma energy being sucked from our sun into the sphere. Amazing video. And I think Mr. B on YouTube, has it on his main page as well.
Okay.
So anyway, I want to know what is going on. Is it something that's good and positive, or something negative?
Sure.
And I got straight away, it was positive, big time for humanity. So I said, well, why is it here? And they said it's to protect Mother Earth when the new sun is born.
Wow.
I said, well, how's it going to do that? Is it going to sit in the front of the sun? And they went, no. Mother Earth will be swallowed up inside the sphere.
Okay.
All right. So what we're seeing in the sky at the moment, and people have been saying this for at least 2 years, that's not our sun, because it isn't.
Yes.
It's a hologram.
Bright. It's a different shade.
It's white, blue. It's so pure
bluish.
white. You can't look at it. Normally you can see it at sunrise and sunset. It's orange. It's not. It's brilliant white light because it's not our sun. And also, if you look at the shadow on the moon during the day, if you see the moon during the day, the shadow on the moon should be that. It's not. It's like that. Right. And that is because the sphere's light source is so close to us that it's reflecting the shadow from us upon the moon differently. So it's just more evidence that we're actually inside this sphere.
Wow.
Now, the reason for being inside the sphere, and the sphere being here, is to protect us from when the new sun was born. So our sun, which is liquid metallic hydrogen, which is not gas, it never has been. It's a ball of electricity, liquid. So normally when the sperm hits an egg and you see it from one cell, it divides into 2, then into 4, and then into 8.
Yeah.
So our new sun was born how a cell divides from our sun. So our sun came into 2 suns, and it was born backwards, so we didn't see it. Then the sphere came in. When we were safe, then the new sun has moved into its position. Now, if that sphere wasn't round us, we would have been destroyed about 1 year or 2 years ago, because of the electromagnetic energy pull from a gigantic star within our system would have pulled us all over the place. And same with Mars. So the second sphere that people saw went around Mars, because there's life forms on Mars that needed to be saved and rescued, as well as us. Now, we've been inside this sphere for over 2 years.
Okay.
The sun is now in its new position. The sphere has been waiting for humanity, enough of humanity, to wake up. We've done it. Right. So let me just see if I'm okay to share this. Let me just have a look. It's truth. Not yet.
No, really.
Not yet. Let's just say that this year we will get to see. I'm not going to say when. I know when, but they told me no. This year, all of us will see a second sun in the sky for the rest of our lives. People are videoing and photographing it already. That's what we call a harmonic resonance of where the new sun will be. The whole thing is about getting humanity ready, drip feeding them, so it doesn't scare them as much. So what will happen is one morning, you're going to wake up and you will see 2 suns rising in the sky.
That's incredible. So what do the 2 suns, why are they happening, and what is this doing for us? Why are they there?
Right, good question. So we've been a solar system, one sun, one star, for billions and billions of years. Right, now the next stage of evolution is 2 suns.
Oh,
right,
really?
which is a binary system. Binary means 2. Right, so the next stage of evolution for our system, including all the planets within it, is to become a binary system. So basically now we are going to be living in, and have already started living in, a 14-ray system. 7 rays, 1 sun, 7 rainbows. When you see 2 rainbows in the sky, that's coming from a second light source.
Wow.
Two rainbows, 14 rays.
That's incredible. I have chills.
So we're now living in a 14-ray system. This is the ascension. This is the awakening.
Wow.
Right, this is the crystal stairs that we talked about when I was in my 20s. This is it, right? So we are upgrading with a new body. So when you do my workshops, then I will stimulate and awaken your new chakras, your 5D chakras, stimulate, awaken the 22 strands of DNA within the marrow of your body. I'll talk about that in a minute, because that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Amongst many other things. You have 7 pineal glands.
That's
not just
incredible.
the one in your brain.
You have to talk about that in more detail as well, because that's a mind blower. I mean,
it blew my mind, right? Absolutely. What, really? And I've only known this since...
We've never heard that before.
No, since November. It was only November last year when I went to Morocco with Mark Atwood and did this retreat. I was one of the teachers and healers there. And that's when I discovered in the Sahara Desert,
I'm going on
these
the
new
next
chakras.
one. Let me know when the next one's happening.
I will. I'm
riding the camel, and you're coming with me.
I'm organising the healers on that one, so I'm going to be a major part of organising that with Mark.
Beautiful.
In the Sahara Desert. Yeah. So basically, we are now living in a 14-ray system, and these new chakras are in between our primary chakras on the front of the body. So
they're between our chakras?
In between the primary chakras. So you're saying
a regular 7, now there'll be 7 more in between? Or
there already is. They're either awake or they're not. I think we awoken yours. Let me just check. Show me in the corner. Yes, yours are awake.
Woo!
Right, so your new 7 awake. But a lot of people, they're not. Children are born with their new chakras fully open. and we need to be disciplined and aware, and take charge of awakening them. Very, very simple to do. So that's it. Once your new chakras are in line, you're then pulling in sunlight, extra sunlight into your body. This is where we get more youthful, more vibrant, more powerful, and so on and so forth, because we've got 7 extra rays coming into our bodies. How cruel is that? We spent billions of years just having 7 rays. We've now got 14 rays.
You know, it's interesting, Ian, when the sun is out, because we're in the East Coast, northern area. I'm in, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Connecticut, USA. When the sun is out on a winter day, I have to sit out in it. I pull my chair out, I sit in the sun, and I just can't get enough. So this must be part of that, because
of course
I always love the sun, but this is like, I just have to be out there as soon as I see it.
So let's explain a bit more how the sun works. Now, the sun, we're told, is a certain distance away from the Earth. And if we look at the light traveling at the speed of light coming from the sun, we are told that it takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to reach us traveling at the speed of light. That's wrong. It's actually 5 minutes. We're actually twice the size of what we've been led to believe as well. Our planet is twice the size than what we're led to believe.
Yes, I've seen
everything. All you people out there listening to the mainstream, to science, to university teachings, it's all wrong. Everything that you've been taught, I don't care how clever or smart you are, it's all wrong. We've been kept away from the truth of everything. Yes, everything. You might be given a little tiny smidgen, a little tiny bit of truth, but the bigger truth has been kept away from all of us. Yes. So our planet is twice the size than what we're led to believe. Yeah, and also we're told that there's 8 billion people living on this planet. There's not. There's 3.
That's incredible. Who are the other 5? Are they what do they call those?
No, there's nobody. No, there's only 3 billion.
Really?
Not 8.
Wow.
Right, it's all about fear mongering, right? 8 billion people, your planet won't cope. We've got Bill Gates has got to produce this vaccine to kill half the planet off because there's too many people living on it. What a load of nonsense. Right, there's more than enough space on this planet for everybody to live on, everybody, and lots of space, right?
Well,
so coming back to the sun, the sun is a lot closer to us than we're led to believe. It takes only 5 minutes for the sunlight traveling at the speed of light to reach us.
Beautiful.
Now, with that in mind, that would say there's no heat coming from the sun.
Why?
There isn't any heat. There's no way heat could travel through space at billions and trillions of miles away. How could that reach us and make us feel hot?
Okay, good question. What's the answer?
It's not possible. Absolutely not possible. So what is happening? What you're receiving, you can see this if you get a very fine mist garden spray on a hot sunny day and spray that mist in front of you, you'll see all the colors of the rainbow in that water. It's all around you. It's in the atmosphere. So what's happening is your auric field is converting the energy of the sun, the light of the sun. It's converting it through an atomic light reaction into energy. And that is why you're feeling it hot upon your skin. It's happening in your auric field about 2-3 feet away from you. It's then converted into energy naturally through your chakras, through your auric field, into energy, heat.
Wow.
That is why you're feeling it hot. So the more light upon your body, the more energy is being converted, and that's why you feel hotter.
Oh, wow. That's a whole...
So when your chakras are in tune, your chakras are converting down the correct amount of light frequencies into the organs associated with those chakras, which creates health for your internal organs.
Wow.
So then also, I'm a shiatsu practitioner, and I've been practicing shiatsu for nearly 30 years. So the meridian lines where the acupuncture needles go on and all the acupuncture points, they travel around the body, go through your organs and back out on the surface of your skin again. Those meridian lines also absorb energy and light from the sun. It's converted into energy through the lines, travels also into your organs to stimulate the health of your organs. So when we are in tune, you're never sick.
Wow.
So the drugs industries, the dark side, all of those, they knew that knowledge, and have kept us away from that knowledge. Make you fearful, make you dependent on toxic, highly toxic, poisonous drugs, shut you away from the sun, make you fearful of the sun, and that's it. You get sicker and sicker. Then you put all this horrible food in your body, which has been heavily processed with lots of table salt in it, and so on and so forth. It's no wonder we're sick.
Wow. Yeah, it is. It's a little hard to believe how much we've been manipulated.
Yeah. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. So people watching, don't beat yourself up about this, because we've all been manipulated and brainwashed and programmed. But now we're coming back into the knowledge.
Yeah.
A lot more knowledge now is coming out on YouTube. More scientific, fantastic knowledge is coming out. I think less and less people are being censored, because then the dark side aren't there anymore. The white hats have taken control. So we're getting more and more beautiful, true knowledge to empower us.
Yeah. So I never actually read your bio. You have a very short bio, which is shows how humble you really are. But your bio, and let me just tell you quickly what he just told you. He's a shiatsu trainer. And he also was trained in the shiatsu technique. He's a Reiki practitioner, an electrocrystal therapist, and a psychic and a clairvoyant, if you didn't know already. And he can read people just by looking at their eyes. So how did you do that? How did you ever discover that gift?
It came to me, probably started about the age of 12, when I was in, do you want to come say hello, Sue? Yeah. So this is Janet. Janet, you know Sue.
Hi, Sue. Welcome. Your husband, Ian, is giving us the amazing new findings and, discoveries that he's learned himself and sharing with us. And we have the whole audience out here listening with us.
Lovely.
And we're so, don't worry about it.
Not me. I didn't do my hair either.
Well, we heard you have new ducklings, so congratulations.
Oh, yes, 70 little fluff nuggets.
I know, they're beautiful, and it's so precious that you work with the nature so closely. No wonder you're both so connected, and it's just such a natural flow for you.
Well, Sue and I, we were at school together for 5 or 6 years in the same class. And
what did you study?
Pardon?
What were you studying?
Oh,
just general schooling.
General studies, okay.
We were 16, yeah.
Oh, so this was more like, we would call it high school in the US.
Yeah, that's it. Now,
like middle school, high school, if you were 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I left school without a single qualification.
No.
Yeah, I was very, very dyslexic, and I could not absorb or take on board any information. Of course, it wasn't known about by then. And so, yeah, I left school with not one single qualification, nothing. But I stepped straight into building college, because my gift is here.
Yes.
In my hands. So I excelled in the building industry and got very, very high qualifications, etc., with the building industry. And then, of course, moved on to healing from then. But I started at the age of 12, seeing incredible visions of people walking around in my room, in spirit realms. And I would chat with them, get bored with them, tell them to go, I want to go to sleep. So that's where it started.
I was going to ask you how you all started with this. So you started very young. And Sue, you are very psychic as well.
She is now.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I always was, but didn't know what I was seeing or picking up, and pushed it away.
Sure. How do you feel now? Do you enjoy connecting with it?
Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on. I love it.
Oh, no, what Sue will do, and it's quite amazing to watch, she'll listen to me teaching and helping people, and she goes into like a semi-trance, and you think she's actually looking at her phone and playing a game, but she's not. And she's tuning in to what's going on, and then she'll slide a piece of paper across to me with information on it, or she'll tap me and go.
So you're connecting together, and you are sharing the information. You really tap into another level of it for, together with Ian, don't you?
Yeah, this is, we've got an incredible place here down in Cornwall in the UK.
Cornwall.
And wonderful 12.25 acre farm, small holding. And the goal is to create a healing center here, which is what we're doing.
Yes.
And thanks to everybody on the internet who's doing the workshops. So all the money that you guys are paying for the workshops are actually helping me to build the healing center here for teaching and doing classes. And we're going to have retreats here, and all of that is going to do that. I'm personally not interested in money. I'm really not. It doesn't do a thing for me.
But you need a little bit. You need to.
Yeah, it's buying the materials. So I'm building it by myself.
Yeah.
But it's buying the materials to create something very, very special for everybody. And that is bringing me a lot of joy. But other than that, I don't need them. I don't need money. I really don't. Not interested.
I feel the same way, to tell you the truth. I understand that. And I understand that it doesn't always go over well around here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the be all and end all. It really isn't.
No, but we have to have it. And then there's certain things you want to have. And, some of that happens a little too. But I just want to tell the audience that your classes are all set up so that people can go in and just get to them. They're all pre-recorded. You offer them on a donation basis.
Yeah.
You give sort of a ballpark number, but it's up to them what they want to give. That you say, well, that's what we think it's worth. But if you can't do it, or you want to, whatever you can afford it to pay, you really want people to have this. I know Sue agrees with you, because I think you must talk to her about that. I hope you do. Do you agree with him on the way he set this up, Sue?
Absolutely. This is what we call a 5D sharing.
Yes, it's
right.
Beautiful.
So we're now in a 5D zone where the abundance is there, and Mark and I are creating that abundance for everybody. There are people who are paying way more than they should, and there are people paying hardly anything because they can't afford it.
Like me, because I want to see if it would work.
Well, you're sharing your husband, and you're doing your own work with him, so you're doing it. You don't need to pay.
Of course she doesn't. Now Sue's my guinea pig. When I get new information, then I'll wait till I've assimilated it, wait till I've become strong with it, and I'll go, Sue, come here.
I'm going, bye.
And she's willing and brave, and she says, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't run fast enough.
Yep, that was the beginning, right?
No, it's great because it's helped me so much. I mean, 35 years ago, I was diagnosed with progressive MS. When I first met Ian again, after we didn't see each other for 35 years after school, I was walking on 2 sticks and my eyesight was going. Wow. So, yeah, I'm quite happy.
I would say so. Oh, my goodness. So you didn't get married straight out of school together?
No. As Sue said, we didn't see each other for about 35 years.
Oh, so how did you reconnect?
Through Facebook.
Wow.
Good old Facebook.
It's meant to be, isn't it?
It was, definitely. I couldn't have asked for a better partner with sharing the farm and all this knowledge. And people are saying we are the archetypal couple. And people are wishing that they were like us, as in finding someone that's on the same wavelength as you and sharing all this incredible stuff together.
No pressure.
No pressure. Well, there's always a little in there, but I know I called you the evolutionary duo because that's what, there's not a lot of them. They're around, but people aren't not always on the same wavelength, and you two are so in sync. I mean, she's right there by your side right now, and she's writing things because I know she's having insights there, whatever she's seeing or doing, and she's saying, oh, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, which is so powerful and so wonderful for what you're bringing through. It's just, you're working together, and that's what we
let's
all
talk about. Let's share about this the 5D blood within our bodies.
Do that. Okay? Go ahead. Let's go.
A lot of very gifted people on YouTube have been talking about we are royalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? The human race is royalty. Now that's accurate. That's 100% accurate. And the reason being, we have blue blood. You can see that in my veins. Everybody has blue blood. We don't have red blood. That doesn't exist. That only exists when we cut ourselves.
So it's the opposite.
But we are blue-blooded royalty. Now, I was given some information about 6 months ago that we need to stimulate and activate the marrow in our bones. So people don't understand where the blood is made. It's made from the marrow within your bones. So your legs, your arms, your skull, your fingers, every single bone in your body has marrow inside it. That is what creates the blood. It then filters through micropores through the bone, because all bones are porous, and then ends up in your bloodstream. That is how we get refreshed blood every day, is from the marrow within your body. Now, hiding and being stored inside the marrow of your bones, I was told this 6 months ago, is the DNA of 22 strands of beings that live in our system, in our galaxy. Now, I was told and shown that we have 36 planets in our system, not 8. Again, we're told we have 8. Right? What a load of nonsense. We have 36 planets.
Are they hiding those, or are we just not ready to see them?
They're that far away, we see them as stars.
Okay, I got it.
There is one that is being hidden, it's quite close, and it's another blue planet, which is twice the size of us. The beings on there that I had a chat with and walked around the planet on are probably about 7 to 8 feet tall, probably about 2,000 years more advanced than we are. It's a blue planet, and they've been watching us for a very long time. Now, there are 22 out of these 36 that have sentient life forms, highly evolved life forms on them. And each one of those planets has had a life here. The beings on those planets have had a whole lifetime of history on our planet, have interbred with the human race, left their mark, their seed, their DNA within the bloodstream. Then they die out, move on, and then the next race of beings come here. So this blue planet, Mother Earth, is an experimental growing evolutionary process of divine love, of connecting 22 different beings together into one being and one planet. So we are a blueprint. We are the most incredible thing that has ever been designed by God. It's been going on for millions of years. Yes, we are that's it. We are a melting pot of all these other beings. And it's now time to awaken those 22 strands within our body to link when they come and visit us.
Wow.
Right? They've been watching us, nurturing us, keeping us safe, allowing us to fall, allowing us to trip up, allowing us to grow stronger within those 22 strands of DNA. It's now time to wake them up. So this is what I do on the workshops, at the right time, at the right place, because it's pretty potent and pretty powerful, and can be very emotional as well, as these 22 strands of DNA has suddenly come online and waken up within your body. Again, which is all a part of the process of the awakening, the ascension. We're ascending into harmony with our neighbors.
Well, that's what we've been waiting for as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so this is a part of that. So so there's something else that people don't know where. There's another scientist on the internet, a lovely man, can't remember his name. He's a black chap in his 60s with a beard, and he's got a lovely younger chap, both coloured, and they're a bit of a comedian, and he shares incredible scientific knowledge. And I'm sorry, I can't remember his name.
That's okay. If you think of it, email us and we'll put it in the bottom of the chat.
He confirmed with me, not personally, but I always believed that there's no way that we could be going around the sun. We're told that we go around the sun, aren't we?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What a load of nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Right. Remember how far away we are from the sun.
5 minutes.
Right. 5 minutes traveling at the speed of light. For us to go round the sun in a year, we would have to be traveling at over 10 times the speed of light.
That makes sense.
Which means we'd all be blown off the planet.
Yeah, we've never questioned that too. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, or we'd literally just be crushed by gravity or something. So what is happening is that all the sun is actually going around us.
Wow.
Right, but it's not actually going around us. It's just
makes more sense.
Swinging from left to right. On the farm here, we're 660 feet above sea level, and 21st of June we see the sun set there, and then by December we see it set over there. So it's literally just swinging from left to right.
That's it.
All right, that's
it. It doesn't really go completely around.
It does not go around us. So we're seeing it with our own eyes. And the reason we see it going around us, it's not the sun, it's us that's spinning.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what's
Okay.
making it look like the sun's moving
Oh,
around us, but not, the
sure.
sun is just doing this.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that makes so much sense now. And it's
Yeah.
like a bell. It's going back and forth. It's like, it's almost like a balancing. What do
Exactly.
you call that?
So
Like, yeah.
again, everything that we've been taught at school and universities are
Hmm.
lies. Use your common sense. Look at it with your own heart and your own eyes, with your own, hopefully, common sense thinking. That doesn't make sense. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have an awareness and an understanding of what's happening within our own system and how it's progressing forwards to becoming a binary system, meeting our galactic neighbors, then it's not going to be as scary when it happens.
Right.
We're actually going to be rejoicing. Most people watching this will be rejoicing.
I
It's
am
those
very
that don't
excited.
watch.
Yeah, I know I'll probably still be shocked, but I'm so excited. I'm going to get over it quick. Like, oh, you're actually here is what's going to be more the comment. Like, you're really here.
And what took
And-
you so long?
Say that again, Sue.
And what took you so long? I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. And what time do you call this? Bloody cake's gone cold. Your tea's gone cold. The dinner's in the dog.
And they'll look at us like, okay, we're on a new planet. So I know you talked something, I heard you talk about the dark star, and I wanted you to talk about that because that's kind of an interesting, it's a big concept. It's pretty big for people to understand and to know how to separate from it.
Okay, right. I was flying around the galaxy as you do, you know, about 2 years ago.
Well, not everybody, but you.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the center of our galaxy, and you can do this. You can go on YouTube or in a book looking at all the pictures of galaxies that Hubble telescope has ever taken. And every single galaxy without fail has a bright white center.
Okay, yeah.
All of them, including ours, right?
Okay.
The Milky Way.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know why. Why are you showing me this, and why am I flying at an incredible speed towards this light source?
Mm-hmm.
And as I got closer, I saw that it was a sun, but it was gigantic, well over 2,000 times bigger than our sun.
So is that what they call the central sun?
The central sun of our galaxy, correct. But I asked, what is it? And they said it's the love star.
Wow. That's the
This
one you
is
always
the
connect to.
love star. And as
Wow.
I looked closer, there were hundreds, if not thousands, of smaller stars all around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what are these stars? Well, first of all, the love star is radiating out a frequency of love for this galaxy. It has its own genetic makeup. It has its own atomic structure of light frequencies that come into harmony with just this galaxy and all the beings that live within it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all constructed and designed and built by this central sun.
And that's connected.
And that's why we come together as one unit.
Yeah, and that's all
So then I
connected
asked,
to your DNA?
Yeah, exactly. So we can actually connect to this love star with intention.
Okay.
Consciously.
Beautiful.
We've been held together subconsciously as best we can with the reptilians being in charge for 20,000 years, but now we're back in it. We're now back connected to the love star.
Mm-hmm.
Now these smaller stars, I said, what are they? And I could see that they were all connected with like a golden strand of light to the main central star. And they said that each one of those stars you're looking at represents an aspect of love. So if you love trees, then that particular star will feed you the love of trees. If you make a connection by being in love with trees or animals or people or planets, blah, 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 blah.
Whatever
so basically, whatever you love, you make a connection to an individual star that then starts feeding you with more love. And this is how we grow in love.
Wow. That's beautiful. I mean, you know, I always thought of source as love. I don't think of it as anything but love.
Correct.
And that was way long ago. I realized there's no man in the clouds with a beard and all that stuff, or, you know, woman. It's an energy of the male, divine male, masculine, feminine, but it's love. It's all about love. And so you're telling us how it is right there in the center of each of our galaxies.
Correct. And each galaxy, each central sun of each galaxy also has a connection with one another. And I've seen it. I've gone right back. If you get to my book, right? Empowering the atomic body, the universe within. And in there, you will actually see a diagram of what God showed me. The pie section.
Did you write that? How long have you had that book out?
About 8 years.
Okay, so I knew you had
It's
some books and I didn't.
Empowering the atomic body, the universe within. It's a very, very beautiful, colorful book with masses of pictures, very, very simple, very informative, and people are loving it.
That's an
I never believed it would be happening like this, but
well,
hey.
time.
So anyway, to answer your question about the black star, I knew about this about a year ago, and I kept it away from humanity because the way humanity was being guided and steered through fear and brainwashing, the last thing I wanted to do was just share about the black star and what it does.
Okay.
So the NASA have seen it. They call it a black hole. Right? They photographed it. You can actually see photographs of black holes.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard
it's
of
not
them.
A hole. It's a star. And this star is the yin to the yang. This star is the companion star to the love star.
Okay, sure.
So basically, when you become anxious, fearful, angry, violent, aggressive, you connect automatically to the dark star, which then feeds you. Right?
So is that part of what creates the duality?
Correct. So without the black star, then you wouldn't know what light was. You wouldn't grow stronger in love and light. But what I teach now is to disconnect from it. So I go, I click my fingers and I like an axe and I chop away any connections to the black star, and it's dead easy to reconnect. As soon as you get anxious again or fearful, you make a connection, because the radiation field of the black star is all around you, the same as the radiation field of the love star is all around you. It's up to you and what you choose to connect to that brings you who you are.
That makes sense. So does every galaxy have a dark star, or is it just ours?
All right. So every system has its own separate black star.
Really?
Yeah. So within our galaxy, there could be 1 million or 2 billion black stars, because each system has its own harmonics, which makes sense, doesn't it? So it's like, how can I put this? Going into a shop that has its own smell. Right, and that shop works with that smell, and a different smell comes in. It's like, oh, what is that? So basically, the black star is in harmony with the functioning of our system, and it works hand in hand with the love star. And it's up to each individual being which one you want to choose to tune into, because we are living in a free will zone, aren't we?
Sure. Well, you know, I have a question, because what I understood way back when I started this, which is over 20 years ago, is that we were the planet of, you know, negativity, that we took on the negativity to teach the rest of the galaxies what negativity would do, like how would it work. That isn't true.
No,
that's
not true.
That's another bad story, huh?
Yeah, it is. We are definitely have been a planet of negativity, because that's the whole plan. That was the whole goal. Now,
whose goal?
All right, the goal from God.
Oh.
All right. Now, this planet has been designed by God.
Okay.
And the plan, the blueprint has been designed by God. So basically, everything that's ever experienced on this planet has been set in motion a long time ago. And all we're doing is we're falling into that pathway. And then each being, a race of being that's lived on this planet, has left its mark, and that's also negativity. So what we have been doing collectively is helping to remove all negativity from all beings that's ever lived on this planet, all in one go. So
that's really what our role is.
For this point in time, yes.
Okay, that's a new one. I mean, I never thought of it that way. That makes
right. And then once we've cleared that, we've then set in motion for all our children and our children's children and so on. We've set in motion pure 5D, 6D planetary love. For evolution. The last thing you want to do is to drink wine out of a shitty glass.
Yeah.
right? So what we are
anymore,
doing,
but I get it.
humanity, is we're cleaning up the glass. We're washing it out,
Interesting.
leaving behind the most beautiful crystal clear glass for our children and those that wish to move forward in love.
Wow. So that was the reversal of what I heard way back when, which is more of the, what do they call it? The flip side and the distortions that they feed us.
Yeah, it's been a lot of misinformation. A lot
Yeah.
of people, I was taught when I was in my early 20s that you've got to shut down your chakras, keep them safe.
Well, did you hear
No.
about people having their chakras taken away? Have you heard of
I
that?
know. Yeah, right.
What is that?
I'm going to pay, this person's going to pay you, you're going to pay £600, which is a lot of money. And we're going to take all your chakras away. You're going to have one chakra. Wow. And these poor people that have gone for this become very, very sick. And I've had to rebalance them, restart them again, and how they should be, how God designed them to be.
Right.
So,
Why are you messing with God's work? Exactly what, that's the question. Why are you messing with God's work, really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like God is perfection. God doesn't work in any other way.
Right. We were born perfect, but we.
All right, let's expand your awareness even more.
Okay.
Now, I talk about in the workshops, I talk about divas. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Divas are blueprint spiritual programs that hover above everything. So for a pen to be a pen, it has to be a blueprint spiritual program hovering above it first. Otherwise, that could not exist. If I remove that spiritual blueprint from that, that would vanish.
Okay. So it's like a hologram that creates, that you start with? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's basically, we are divine creator beings, are we not?
Yes,
we can create, we create computers and programs and dishwashers and everything. We create them. But that's done through our own intention, working with separate components and ingredients to create the whole. So what we're doing is we're creating a spiritual blueprint with our intention and our heart to bring together an object.
Okay.
Now, so you have a diva, right? People call it your higher self, which it is, but it's also your diva. It holds the blueprint of who you are.
Oh.
Everything that you've ever experienced in all your lifetimes is held within your blueprint, your diva that hovers above you, your higher self.
Does that have anything to do with the Akashic records?
We don't
want to get too
that's
confused.
a separate thing.
Okay,
right? The Akashic records are, they no longer exist, by the way.
Really?
They no longer exist because we don't need karma in this environment. Right?
So is that all
karma now?
Is that all the Akashic records were about, was karma?
Yes, it's basically karma. It's about a record of your experiences, but that's a different entity.
Okay.
But ultimately, everything that you are is held above you, within you.
Okay.
Right? Empowering the atomic body, the universe within. It's in you, around you. So your diva, your higher self, holds everything that you've ever been and ever will be to come. Everything. So by making a connection intentionally, consciously with your higher self, your diva, your blueprint, will bring you greater awareness and understanding of why you're here. And she or he is just sitting there very patiently above you, in your own time. You'll soon wake up and then it'll be, wow. Right now, with that in mind, a tree has a diva. A mountain has a diva.
Sure.
Mother Earth has a diva, a spiritual blueprint, a higher self.
Yes.
And everything that's within that blueprint of Mother Earth is here now and happening now. So basically, we are following a program that's already been set as a blueprint from God to the diva of Mother Earth. And we're a part of that. We're a part of the soup. We're a part of the ingredients of Mother Earth, are we not? So we are an aspect of that, but we have our own individual divas. So you can get quite complicated when you start to see and understand the complexity from the greater to the smaller. The smaller it gets, the bigger the information. So if you go subatomic, there's more information.
Wow.
All right. So we know that we're made of atoms, but you can go subatomic subatomic atoms, which are atoms that are smaller than an atom. Subatomic.
Yep.
And there's actually more information in the subatomic atoms than there are in the larger atoms.
So why is that? What is it?
I said, I grinned and I laughed because we have to understand, first of all, the basics. And the basics are an atom. And everything are made up of atoms. So let's just say this pin here, right? If we go to the tip of that pin, there could be 1 billion atoms.
Okay, yeah, makes
all right,
sense.
just an example. Might be not be as many as that, but that's how many atoms there are to make the tip of that pin.
Yep, to create that.
So, and all of those atoms are holding a program collectively to show or make that pin, that point.
Wow.
So we have to understand, first of all, how that became that way.
Okay.
And that is because of God and the universe has designed it that way, that everything has to have a program that can be communicated with, manipulated and worked with, and atoms can. And that is how I do all this healing with people and teach them to work with the atoms of their food, their water, their liquids, their healing, their cancers, their diseases, and so on and so forth. And that is why it can be quite technical at times. And when I first met Sue and taught her this, she was great, but she had to spend a few days or a week or two assimilating that information before putting it. But then I kept changing it, didn't I?
Yes, Danny.
He doesn't make it easy, right, Sue?
No, he does not make it easy.
I know.
The
But they challenge
reason,
you too.
yeah.
Well, the first thing he said to me when he asked me to marry him was, "You'll never be bored."
That's good.
I'd like to try boredom just once.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be going,
No, I
"What?
wouldn't.
What's happening?
I'm just going to shut the
Is
animals.
everybody
I
okay?
didn't
Right.
realise you were live. I do apologise. I must go and put the animals to bed.
Thank you for being with us, Sue.
Thank you, darling.
That is so nice. She's
So this, you know, the 42 years I've been on this journey and learning all this information, and most of it has actually arrived to me in the last year. Right, a lot of it, and what I'm sharing is, there's a lot of background, but all the new stuff since the awakening, since the golden age affirmations, has changed the planet, and then coming into 5D, which has changed the planet. All this is new for me, and I've had to spend a lot of time assimilating this knowledge so that I can share it very, very quickly to humanity, to empower them, because that's what it's all about. It's what you're doing by sharing knowledge, like I'm teaching to humanity, to the masses.
I so understand that, and we're so grateful to you. So when you first started to bring in this kind of information, I know the biggest information has been in the past couple of years, but when you first started to do the work, what did you start with? You just healing? You started with healing work?
I started with healing. I needed to understand how and why the physical body, or all four bodies, became sick.
Okay.
So then I started as a builder. I had my own building company, and which was ran very, very successfully, but it was not the direction I wanted to go in. And so during that time, I was going out and doing faith healing and doing lots of clairvoyant work and seeing spirit and picking up how people felt in the spirit world and giving information, which was great. But I still felt there was still more, and I wanted to understand deeply how the body became sick. So they gave me those tools, and that was the shiatsu, the Reiki, the electrocrystal therapy. There was aura photography camera. All of this dowsing came to me to give me tools to understand how people became sick. And the ultimate goal and key for that is the emotional body. So basically, we as children get damaged by our parents, not intentionally. They don't mean to do it, or some of them do, but ultimately parents do not mean to harm us as children. But because of their baggage, they dump it on us as children. Right? So we take on board their programs, we become mirror images of them, and that makes us sick. So Jesus says in the Bible, the sins of the father are visited upon the child. That's what that means. It means that the DNA and the baggage dropped on the child from the parents is then absorbed by the children, and then they become sick. So if you go into a relationship with somebody lovingly and it goes bad, then that person starts hurting you and you don't tell them. You then block your throat chakra up, which then can cause problems with the throat, the arms, the hands, the fingers, the neck, the jaw, and so on. So that I learned that it's the emotional body that causes all the pain, all the cancers, all the diseases. So what I do is to remove that baggage that you have accumulated for a long, long time, 50, 60 years or whatever. And I remove that, help you remove that from your body. Then with the tools that I'm sharing, you get your full health back, sometimes immediately.
Wow.
So I had one lady on a Zoom call. She had fibromyalgia for 6 years, and she was there shaking on the Zoom call. She couldn't move her body. She was in agony. So I found out the cause was 6 years ago. She had a termination, a child, and she had to make a horrible decision to terminate this child. She, from that point on, she beat herself up. She blamed herself.
Yeah.
That's what caused the fibromyalgia, and it just got more and more and more and more painful as the years went by. I got her to forgive herself. Within 4 minutes, every part of her body, all the pain vanished.
Wow.
In 4 minutes.
So
and
how
it
is
never came
she
back.
She's all good now.
All good, completely, and all because she forgave herself and asked for forgiveness for the soul that she terminated.
That's incredible.
And that is just one of
Yeah.
thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in 42 years. And every single one that comes to me, without exception, we remove that emotional blockage. They unconditionally forgive that person, and then they heal themselves almost immediately. Because this one lady, she came to me and her hands were like that with arthritis, and she was in screaming agony, and she was so swollen, no painkillers could touch it. Anyway, it's on the right side of her body, the right hand, and the right side is masculine. And I said, "This is the old man. This is your husband that's doing this."
Oh.
What do you mean? I said, "There's something he's saying that's bugging you, and you're not telling him." Did I hit the nail on the head or what? Right? She went, "Yeah, bloody hell." He said, she started screaming and shouting, and he wasn't there. But anyway, her hand like that suddenly went like that.
Wow.
And she said, "Well, what do I do?" I said, "Well, you're gonna have to go and tell him and forgive him." So she did. She came back a week later and her hands were like that, completely pain-free. I said, "What did you do?" She said, "Well, I went up to him and told him what he was doing, and he, do you know what he said? 'Oh, you stupid cow, why didn't you tell me?'"
Wow. Well, you never know how they're going to take it sometimes. I think that's why people
But
hold
nobody
back.
has the right to harm you.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So take back control of that. And you don't have to be angry and violent at that person. You just tell them to stop. This is harming me. This is hurting me. I love you. Please stop. I can't cope with this anymore. You're making me sick. And ultimately, nearly all the time, that person will listen. They'll go, "Oh, why didn't you say? I didn't realize it was so bad. I didn't realize. Oh, I'm so sorry." And if they don't say that, then tell them to fuck off. Right? You don't need them in your life. Nobody has the right to harm you. If you're with a partner or a lover, they should be enhancing your life, not making it bad. If they're not enhancing your life, do something about it. Otherwise, they will make you sick.
And those are powerful words. And I hope people are listening, because we all need to look at our lives and say, are we happy?
So this is the key, right? You focus on the person that's hurt you. You can do it in front of a mirror or on your own in a room, but you've got to mean it, and you have to say it out loud 3 times.
Okay.
And this is what you say. This is dead simple, right? I unconditionally forgive that person's name for all the hurts they've caused me. I love you. That is it. 3 times, and you will be healed. As long as you say that and mean it, for every single person that's hurt you, this will release you from all your pains, especially now being in 5D. It's no good now being in 5D and holding on to this baggage. It's going to hurt even more. And what I've been noticing in the last a year, the people that are coming to me now, all this emotional baggage is coming to the surface.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
To be let go of, because we're now in 5D, and 5D doesn't like this frequency of 3 or 4. So it'll come
Right.
to the surface. Let it go.
It has to be released. It does. Yes. I felt like that last year. That's what I was going through. And there's still some more, but you know, we all have to keep looking, and what if we're not feeling 100%, like your body's, you know, perfectly in 5D because you have allowed all that to.
Yeah. So when I look at you, I still see hurt and sadness from your mum.
Oh, well, that's not a surprise. Yep.
Right, in your left eye is drooping down and it's
Ah.
closed. Right, so you've got some unconditional forgiveness for your mum
Hmm.
that needs to
I
be
thought
done.
I
It's not.
forgave her, so I guess I need to do more.
No, let's have a look. Let's see how much you've got left in your body from your mum in
Okay.
percentage. All right, 5%. Yeah, 10%, 20. It's only about 10%, but there's enough there to let me know that you've still got something to do.
I guess you're right, because sometimes I can still go, thanks a lot, Mom.
Yeah, so you need to let it go. Remember, our
Okay.
parents are a gift for us. Whatever they've done,
Yeah.
however they've done it, it was a gift to empower you in some way.
Absolutely. Yes, I understood
Right.
that. It took a long time to get to that point, Ian, but you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
It's huge. And this is a powerful understanding that you're saying, the emotional body. And I've always thought that, but you've put it into such clarity. And you because of all your experience as well, and you've seen the shift. And look at the words you use that are so simple.
Very simple.
Another simple.
But you have to mean it. And when
Yes.
I know this, when I'm working with somebody, I know if they don't mean it. I go, no, say it again. No, more feeling.
Oh, yeah.
That's better. And then I get a jolt. I feel that power, that energy leave their body. And I go, yes, brilliant. Well done. And then they feel lighter, more refreshed. And yeah, they just move on.
That's
But any more questions?
Well, I don't know. What else do you, is there something special that you want to tell us right now that we need to know to help us move again into a little more of what you've already shared? I mean, you've given us a lot. And any last words for 2023? Because you've talked about the twin suns coming. You've told us how the 14 rays are coming in. Is that in? Like, is
it's already there. The 14 rays have been here for how long now? 8 years, 9 years.
Wow. I have
right,
never
but it all depends whether you've woken them up or not. The 5D chakras need to be woken up.
So do you call the 14 rays 14 chakras?
Yeah, 14 chakras, 14 rays. So each ray from the suns, like the rainbow. So each color of the rainbow links with the color of your chakras, doesn't it? Right. So from your base, you've got red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, dark blue, purple, all the way up. Right. So each one of those links with the rainbow colors, and each one of those are absorbed into your chakras through an atomic light reaction to feed those pineal glands, which are.
Oh, we didn't talk about the pineal glands. We were going to real quick touch on those because I know we're moving along here, but I mean, you have so much to share, but I don't want to make you do it all in one call.
Okay, so basically, when I was in Morocco, I met a lady who came up to me and she said, "Ian, what's your feeling about the heart, the physical heart?" And I tuned in, and I said, "Well, in my book, I state that all of the organs in your body they mirror the universe." And that was it. Her face lit up and she thought, oh, I've got someone who actually understands for the first time. And we had this incredible conversation, which then stimulated me to check something, because I was being told that there's a pineal gland in the heart chakra. And I found it with the rods. I awakened it. And it nearly blew me across the veranda that I was standing on with the power that it connected. And then I worked with 50 odd people in the Sahara Desert with the pineal gland, awakened that, and everybody felt it. And the whole land, the whole of the Sahara Desert felt it. Wow. And then this carried me on to stimulate me to ask more questions about the other chakras. And they came to me bit by bit by bit, because it's all about awakening them in stages. So ultimately we have 7 pineal glands altogether. So 6 more, 1 in the brain, throat, well, 1 in the third above the body, right in the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and base. Each one of those is a brain. And each one of those has a pineal gland to activate to help that brain work. work hand in hand with all the other brains, and then work hand in hand with the universe and God. So when we awaken these pineal glands, when you do the courses, this will then connect you to the universe in a way of harmonics that has never happened before on this planet. I've been told this is the first time that this has happened on this planet.
Wow.
Right, ever. Right, to have all pineal glands stimulated and activated at the same time. And this is happening because of us now coming back into harmony with the universe and God, and meeting our galactic neighbors, and coming into harmony with the 22 strands of DNA. All of this, you can see, we can see what I'm teaching. All of it now is doing that.
Yes, it's all
perfect connection, all
Yep.
coming together.
Yep.
And it should. Everything should come together with the
Yes.
4 bodies, physical and mental, emotional and spiritual bodies, all coming together as one. And that is what I'm helping, why I'm here to help to do that. So by having all your new pineal glands coming online, and it is very powerful, very moving, and this will connect you to healing abilities that you could never have dreamt of.
Beautiful. I mean, that's
Right.
now
And this is a big thank you to God for awakening me to this, for me to then help you guys to become awake. Now, I will always do this, Janet. When I'm given something so powerful, I give it straight away.
I know you do.
As soon as I understand it, and I can make sure that it's safe and that it's appropriate and the right time to do this, then immediately I will share this with humanity.
I think it's so beautiful and generous, and that's why you're the messenger, because you
Yeah,
don't need to
absolutely.
hold on
I
to
agree.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about this. It's not about ego. It's not about money.
No.
This is about helping the evolutional process of a planet within
Absolutely.
a system. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So Ian, we so appreciate everything you've shared. Is that it on the pineal? Anything else?
No, you can. I'm on a roll.
I know, you're fantastic. And it's been just fantastic what you're sharing, and there's so much. So there you go about the pineal, everyone. And I know that's contained in your workshop.
Yes.
Which one is that? Is that in the second one?
That's the
pineal?
first, second, and third.
Yeah, yes. I highly recommend
because
them.
the first one will waken the one in the
Yes,
brain.
I remember that. Yes.
Right. The second one will do the other 3. Then the last one will do the 4. So there's 7 altogether. But
That's
it has
why
to be
you
done
have
in
to do
stage.
it.
If I did it all at the same time with you, you'd end up in bloody bed for a week.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
You wouldn't be able to function.
Oh, yes. I do have to tell people, if you do the first one, you need to give yourself a day or 2 after, because I really felt that one. I really felt the energy of that. And it was just clearing me and opening things up. And it was like, I used to do healing work, and people would say, oh, I'm so sore after you did it, and everything aches and pains. And I'm like, well, this is because you're releasing things, everything's shifting. And they'd go, really? Is that normal? I said, yes, very normal. And I've never felt that from anybody's healing except that workshop and my body. I never felt my own reaction like people told me they were getting from me, but I got it from your workshop on that first one. And I thought, wow, this is a powerful workshop, because I've never felt that like that.
Yeah, well, you need to do the other 2, Janet. You really
Well,
must.
I did the middle one, but I probably have to
did.
do it again. I just didn't do the third. But I mean, I know I would like to go back and look at the pine cone information again, because there's a lot to it. I've got my little pine cones downstairs, which are powerful and ancient tools. I was going to ask you about the ancient tools you're bringing through, which is the pine cone. You're bringing in many, many ancient ways that you're moving into the modern way to use it, and to the upgraded way to use it. And that is,
you go onto Google and type in Sumerian pine cone. Right, and you see all these gods. And this is what happened to me about a month or so ago. I'm thinking, why is a god holding a pine cone, for heaven's sake? Why? So then I tuned in, spoke with God. I went, bloody hell. Oh my word. And then I got this download of how to use a pine cone for healing. And that's what these gods were doing. They were using these pine cones, not just for healing. If you look, they're carrying a handbag.
Yep.
And this handbag, in every single civilization around the world, throughout history for millions of years, are holding handbags. Right? And pine cones. So the pine cone is an activation tool.
Right.
And what's inside the handbag, as they showed me, because I've been wondering for ages, and I went to this, I don't know where I was, but I was looking at this being holding this handbag, and he opened it, and I looked inside. Wow, that's what's inside. So what I saw were very, very thin, like the thickness of a piece of paper, right? That thin.
Okay.
And there were, it seemed like thousands of copper sheets, as thin as paper, if not thinner. And each one was glowing.
Whoa.
And each one had a program on it.
Ah.
And on those programs, you could pull one out and create an elephant. Or you could pull one out and create a pyramid. You could pull one out and create anything. And you'd use the pine cone to activate the copper sheet.
Wow. So it's like,
yeah, I was like, bloody hell.
Is that
That's
like
extraordinary?
Would you call it a designer? It's not a replicator because you're not replicating, are you? Or are you?
Yes, you are. Basically, you're replicating.
Okay.
So these beings, what they were doing with these images to keep us so that we're not forgetting it. So they're basically drip feeding us through solid granite carvings and images around the world to let us know that there's the design within this handbag. And what will happen in the future is that this gift will be given back to us, being royalty, to use the ability to create harmony with sounds, with lights, with programs within these sheets to help heal humanity and the earth, to build great structures once again for healing abilities and to worship love and so on and so forth. But they won't give this just to anybody, right? You've got to earn the respect to have one of these handbags to work with the pine cone, and then that person will then use that for the benefit of humanity and animals and Mother Earth. Wow.
I wonder who'll get the first one. Am I looking at him?
But yeah, it's just it's all there. The ancients knew this.
It's fantastic.
You know, they're giving
amazing
us
information, because you're talking about how they built the pyramids.
Absolutely.
Because we've all been told all those stories, and I never could understand it. Didn't make sense. Because when I went to the pyramids and I looked at them, I said, how can people have carried these stones? I mean, they're just incredibly huge and so heavy.
Yeah.
And it had, and then so people are saying, well, they lifted them up through telepathy, whatever. Well, you're saying they just created through this sheet, pine cone. It was
pine
like
cone. They would have created.
That's
they would
like
have softened the rocks. They would have got a sheet out to work with a specific granite structure or a rock structure. They would have looked at the design and the makeup of a stone or a mountain.
Okay.
And then they would have think, right, okay, so it needs this type of sound, this type of frequency to soften the rock, then to levitate the rock. And these rocks to build the pyramid were 600 miles away.
Oh yeah, in the distance.
Right, it wasn't on the doorstep.
Right.
And the higher up you go, I've been to the pyramids as well, and I've been to Egypt 6 times. So the higher you go up the pyramids, the bigger the stones are.
Wow.
70 tons, 100 tons, one piece of rock.
Oh, that has to be a trip you have to plan, Ian. You've got to do a trip to Egypt. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I've been there. I don't need to do that anymore. I've been there 6 times.
All right, you've already had your fill. I have only been once. I'd like to go again, I think.
Well, I've been to Petra, I've been to Jordan, I've been to Jerusalem, I've been to Egypt, the Red Sea, the Dead Sea. Yeah, I've done all of it. I don't need to do it again. But
no, I've done all that. I wouldn't mind going to other parts of Egypt that I didn't go to. But how about Peru? Would you go back to? Did you go to Peru, to Machu Picchu?
I've not been to Peru. I've been to Jordan. Not Jordan. I've been to Cambodia, Angkor Wat.
Me too.
That to me was probably the most precious, special energy I've ever felt on this planet is Angkor Wat.
Yeah.
Because the whole city is devoted to pine cones. Every single tower is one of these.
That's amazing.
Everywhere you go in that temple, it's pine cones. You've got
Yeah,
huge
I wouldn't have
carvings
known that at the
of
time, but
carvings of
now,
pine cones with a Buddha sat inside it.
okay. Wow. See, there's so much we didn't know then that you recognize now, and but did you know when you were there? But you didn't know
Yes.
about pine cone. You
Yeah.
did.
Not
I
pine
love it.
cones. I thought the
Okay.
pine cone represented just the pineal gland in the brain,
Yes, that's exactly right. That's where I think
right?
I was going with.
But
Yeah.
even the Vatican knew that. They knew it represented the pine cone in the brain, the pineal
Right.
gland. And that's why outside the Vatican steps, you've got this 2, 3, 4, 5 ton granite carving of a pine cone right outside. Now that they know is to represent the pineal gland in the brain, but they were not aware of the others.
Okay. So this is very new information. You're
Very, very, very new. And it's
it's
coming out at the right time with the right person to share. Right, if this comes to someone with ego and money grabbing, this would not be shared. You would have to pay thousands and thousands of pounds to get this. No, this is yours.
absolutely.
This belongs to you.
Yes. And
Right.
we're ready for it, which is the most beautiful
Yeah.
thing. We're just ready for
Absolutely.
it. That's the gift. So Ian, I know you have an amazing, is there anything else you want to tell us that you really feel, it's up to you. I'm not trying to pull it out of you. I just want you to share what you feel is necessary.
I think that's enough. I think that's enough for now.
We got a
And
lot today.
there is this year has got some powerful magic coming.
Yes.
And I am so excited. We are seeing UFOs quite regularly now where we are, huge golden orbs, 10 of them flying about.
Wow.
We are being mobbed. I've seen UFOs my whole life, massive UFOs right up close. I've got a computer full of UFO images and creatures that fly in the sky.
I would love to see that. I've never really seen one up close. I've seen them wrapped, shrouded in the clouds, but not an actual one and I've seen.
Oh, blimey! I'm not getting bored of them, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, come on in, come on.
I can't get. I'm not there yet. I want to get where you are, Ian. I want to go there too. I want to get as bored as you are. So
everyone will be.
More.
Yeah, everyone will be. When everyone is, I think the whole key here is this: seeing the second sun in the sky.
Yeah,
then we will be told.
Incredible.
We will be told either by our galactic neighbors or me or Donald Trump or someone will come up and stand in front with the EBS system and say, right now, everybody listen. We are now entering into instant karma.
Instant karma. Okay.
Instant karma is happening this year. And this will then prevent all those evil scumbags on this planet, human scum, on this planet for hurting animals, humans, stealing, you name it. Anybody that's going to think about harming, that includes YouTube people, anybody that is there purely just for greed and to harm and to hurt, you are going to get bitten big time.
Yikes.
Right? Even to the point of being removed off this planet if you do not behave. And that will be doing from your own judgment.
Yeah.
Okay. But also on the flip side of the coin, those that love humanity, help humanity, creating healing centers, loving animals, you will get abundance of money and assistance and help and love.
That's so beautiful. I have more questions, but I don't want to go there today. I'll keep them for another time because we would go a whole nother tangent and you'd probably talk for another half hour. So I won't do that to you tonight.
Me?
So I know you have an amazing gift for this audience, for one member of this audience. I think that's how you're working it. Is that right? Yeah. So tell us about it. Do you mind telling us?
So I make dowsing rods.
Yes.
And so what I'll do is I will send a set of dowsing rods to that person.
That is amazing.
And then I will be running a dowsing workshop with Mark Atwood in about a week or two's time. And then you can use the dowsing rods to be on that course.
That's fantastic. Now, I know I was going to actually ask you how you got into the dowsing rods, but then that's another long story, I'm sure. So I don't want to get you there. But when you make them, but I know it's a lot for you to make. So you don't make them for everybody anymore. You're doing.
because it's been pouring with rain for quite some days, and when it's raining, I can't bear just sitting around watching my phone or television or anything like that. So I go into my workshop, and I've got 120 sets of dowsing rods that I've made.
Oh, well, I'm ordering a set right now. So just put one aside. And
You need to
tell me
go
what
to my
it's
Telegram channel.
Okay.
Get in touch with Sue
All right.
on Layla Welch at gmail.com. So it's Laila, Layla Welch at gmail.com. And then she's now helping me out to send these around the world. Obviously,
Okay.
it's a lot longer getting to America. It's about 2 weeks, I think it is, to get
That's
to America.
okay. Well, I might not make your, well, don't bring out your class for a couple of weeks, will you?
Well, we've got to wait for Mark because he's such a busy man, and it will be recorded anyway, so
Right.
you won't
It's
miss
just
it.
like
It'll be
your,
recorded, yeah,
like
just like the other ones.
Yeah.
And so this will give you the ability to work with dowsing rods, and this will help you to tune into Mother Earth's energy field, into your own energy field, because the rods basically become an extension of your auric field. So this will help you become more in tune. For some people, it will happen like that. Other people, they might have to take a week to keep working at it and eventually tune yourselves into the love of Mother Earth and your own heart, and then it will just get stronger and stronger, and you won't be without them. We don't go anywhere without the rods, and wherever we go on the planet, because they're just such an incredible tool to assist in healing. You can do a full diagnostic of the body, the chakras, everything.
It's amazing because I've heard of them so long ago, but you have really brought them to the forefront for me personally, and you make it so simple. And the way you use it is so clear. So that's why now I want them, because I never did before. I've heard people kind of mention them, but I didn't really dive into it. But because of this work you're bringing forward, it's very important.
Yeah, people thought that dowsing rods were just to find water, which they can,
Yes.
and ley lines, which they do. But I thought, no, there's got to be more to it than this. And about 25 years ago, I started delving into using them for questions, yes, no questions, and looking at chakras and organs, and
So
checking out on dates. And this is where a lot of my information is confirmed through the rods. When I'm working with new information, then I'll use the rods to get a yes or no, or ask for percentages of strengths and so on. So that's what's helped me a lot.
It's like a different kind of pendulum. It's not a
Yeah,
pendulum.
exactly. The pendulums works as well, but it's very slow.
Yeah.
And these are more definite,
quick. Yeah.
very quick, very, very quick. It's like boom. Whereas a pendulum, you've got to get it swinging first, and then
sometimes
clockwise
you don't
or
know
anti-clockwise.
Yeah. It's a little bit less accurate, I think, but it does help. I mean, I've used one for years off and on. So Ian, I thank you so much for being here. And I just first want to thank the audience who's listening. We so appreciate you being here. And, anytime you have anything to ask Ian, or that you want to, tell us any comments or any aha moments that happened to you, please go on and join Ian's classes, and you're going to change your life. It's just an incredible upgrade to your whole ascension journey. It's just a huge upgrade into your ascension journey. And Ian, you are an amazing human being that we just can't thank you enough for all you're bringing in. You're tireless, you're selfless, you're sharing, and you love humanity so much, and you bring so much humor to it. And I had to add that, because you're kind of like the smiling wizard. I don't know if you call it that, the smiling wizard, because you bring this beautiful energy to us, and you're so joyful doing it. And that just makes it so much more fun and easier to do, because you make it fun. You make it fun.
That's how it should be, shouldn't it?
I agree. This is what the 5D work is, and up to 5 through 6, 7, 8, 9, you get bringing us up to all those levels. And I'm calling you the master wizard that is bringing us this amazing. I'm going to call you the master humor wizard, bringing us this amazing and transformative work. And the divine human is rising, and we hold unlimited potential and gifts as we create our new earth realities. Thank you so much, Ian, for your courage and for stepping into owning your divine light, which you have done for many, many years now. And as we raise our heart's frequency, know that we are nourished with the love of the universe.
Absolutely.
I am Yarra Atlantica Miller, the soul name of Janet Miller, and I will see you in the next episode.